Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Bob.
How best to be in relationship with friends and family that it appears as if they are getting ready to cross over?
I mean, all I can tell you, Bob, is friends and family you've probably known for a while. They've been in your life. You just have to love them, Bob. You have to get big enough to be able to go through these situations with them and truly nurture them. I mean, look, it gets down to a simple reality. One day, every one of us has to leave the world, you know? And we live in some kind of black hole, believing that we kind of live here forever, and we don't. And, there are people in our lives, there's family, there's friends, there's all kinds of relationships we have. And if we find a place in our heart for those people, understand the day that we have to leave the world, they will find a place in their heart for us. Because the people that you love, their souls live in your heart. And they will live in your heart through eternity. And we just have to develop ourselves inside to where that unconditional love is so huge, it's so big that, it transcends both life and death. So if these people are close to you, Bob, just find them in your heart. Find them very deeply in your heart. Let them live there. Love them unconditionally. Be a support to them to the very moment that they pass into the, into the unknown. Two things that'll do. First of all, they will feel that, and that will give them support to deal with a very difficult situation. Secondly, you will grow beyond anything you ever imagined in your life. You will grow to the point where a spiritual life is absolutely possible. And that comes through the ability to love oneself and other human beings unconditionally. I mean, look, I wrote a book. The book starts with all this exact subject. My father's dying, and I never saw in his entire years that I knew him such inner peace and serenity. Just 2 hours before he left the world. It changed me. It transformed me. And people that really are stepping into the unknown can transform each and every one of us. If we open our hearts and we find them deep in our hearts, and instead of lamenting and moaning and, the stuff that goes on, it's, at funerals, and there's joy, there's love, there's happiness that helps the soul of another human being move on to its next incarnation, to where it goes in its next lifetime. We have to develop that in ourselves. And not only towards people dying, but people living. And all it does is it creates humanity, a level of humanity inside us that transcends, anything the human mind can comprehend. So these people, whoever they are, Bob, I don't know who they are. Maybe I do. I don't. But they're your teachers. My father was my first great teacher, but I didn't know that when he was dying. I only found that out many years later. These people are incredible teachers for you, Bob. And if you let them be your teachers, you know, you will make an extraordinary effort in yourself to support them as they move from this plane of consciousness into the next one. I couldn't think of a better way of supporting people, both living and dying. They always tell people, you see these cards people write, so and so, rest in peace, RIP, rest in peace. Nobody ever writes live in peace. You know, I mean, if people live in peace, they're going to rest in peace. And if they don't spend their lives living in peace, they're going to be sent back here, next incarnation, to learn how to live in peace. So, what I would do, Bob, very simply, is allow whoever these people are to truly teach you about yourself. Let them teach you about yourself, what you have to do to grow, what you have to do to evolve. And you bow to your teacher, you bow to them, you show them unconditional love. They are teaching you about how you can build an inner life that can connect you to God. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Bob. And we live in a world where we're so habituated into being afraid of dying. And it shouldn't be that way. Death releases the soul to move on in its evolution to get closer to a oneness with God. Life does the exact same thing. And when you begin to realize this, there is no separation between life and death. Both of them have a singular purpose to teach a human being how to get closer to a state of spiritual enlightenment. So we got to be happy about both of them. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to? And just to finish this, every human being is up against this. Every single person living on this planet is up against this exact situation. Why was I born and why am I going to die? I mean, this is a question that probably rankles the minds of just about every single human being. As you evolve in your life, you begin to realize we are born here to learn how to transform suffering into a spiritual life. We're born here to learn how to be happy people. And when we leave, it frees the soul, depending on what we take with us. If we take all the garbage with us and, the clinging to money and power and all this other stuff that people cling to in the world, understand we go to our next incarnation to have to work all that out too. If we leave with an open heart, with love, with joy, with happiness, the soul is lifted to a place where it gets closer and closer to a oneness with spiritual enlightenment, a oneness with God. Does anyone else have a question? Great question, Paul. Boy, didn't expect to talk about this. You never know. Okay, if there are no more questions, then there'll be meditation on Sunday, same time. There's a class this evening that Jennifer will be teaching, and there's one Sunday night that Pat will be teaching, and Sunday at 1 o'clock I'll be teaching. A lot of teachers here. You got to take advantage of it all. So thank you and bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon, and have a wonderful weekend. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much, Stuart.
Thank you. Well,
Thank
God
you,
bless you
Stuart.
too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bless you all.
Thank you, Stuart.